Okay, I'm here with Cindy Carillo. This is someone whom I've known for a long time, maybe 20 years almost, when I was in high school. And her family are some of my favorite people in the world, and that includes her as well. She's an artist. She's a part of our church. She also sews, and I don't even know the right terminology. Would sewing be the right terminology?
Sure.
Okay.
Make stuff.
Making stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And today she's going to kind of walk us through the steps of making a cloth mask. All of a sudden, this has become a very important thing, something that's potentially life-saving. And few people actually know this skill. I'm going to tell you, Cindy, I had my first attempt at a cloth face mask. Do you know what I did?
Take your T-shirt and pull it up over your nose like that. And try that.
My head's too big. I actually cut the leg off of a flannel, like flannel pants and some pajama pants.
Yeah, well, better than nothing, I guess.
And then looped a bungee cord through it and just tied it back.
Okay, well, better than going with nothing. Yeah.
Yes. But before we dive in, I just want people to imagine, a little droplet of infectious something or another floating through the air, and God deciding that he is going to protect somebody from that hitting them or coming from that person to someone else. And he's going to protect people. And the way he does it is not just by snapping his finger, but he actually calls and equips people who know how to make these masks, who can be the extension of God's hand of protection that would essentially preserve their life through these masks that are being made. So on a broad scale, theological lens, our God as a protecting God is protecting through the creation of these masks. So I really commend you, Cindy, for taking the time and doing that. I know you've done it for a lot of people. How many masks would you say you've made in the last several weeks?
I started counting at first, and then I just quit counting because, a few more people had asked, and a few more people, and then I don't know, I just forgot to count. I just gave up counting because it was just getting really, really fun.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how many people just don't know how to sew anymore. It was kind of one of those skills people quit doing. Yep. And my biggest fear is thinking of giving it to somebody else. And living in the house we do, my mom and dad live here, and they're in their 90s. My dad turns 99 next month, and so he can't get sick. We've got grandchildren with asthma. They can't get sick. And how responsible would you feel if you gave it to somebody else?
Yeah.
How would you feel giving to somebody else? And I feel like this is a super simple skill that I have and I've had used for years, but for fun, because I love pretty clothes and I like to be able to make whatever I want. And that's why I learned. It was pure vanity, and I'm cheap. I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes, but I like cool clothes. So that's what it's been my purpose for all these years. I want great looking drapes. I want neat cushions, so I make them. So this is the first time in my entire life at 66, I get to make them for something serious, like really cool. And I have way too much fabric. It's kind of a serious vice. And now I get to use it up for something real.
That's awesome.
Thing. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
God has had you collecting fabric for such a time as this. So
I did all this time for me because I love it. I love the colors. I use it to make grandchildren, all my kids' clothes my kids are growing up. And now I told Andy there's a reason I saved all that fabric. See, now it's real. Now for something good.
That's right. Yeah. I think a lot of us who've had hobbies like this are winning some arguments these days.
Well, there's no good reason to be a hoarder except now for this. For all that fabric, I'm finally getting to use. This is kind of fun now. So all the masks. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I say I have none of the fabrics are boring. So nobody got a boring mask. And so some of them they got, I'm sure some of the men particularly were kind of like, am I wearing this one? I get a chance to be brave because there was Hawaiian prints and batiks, all kinds of crazy stuff. So in fact, when you're making, since we get started on it here for you.
Yeah.
When you're making your mask, you don't use gauze. You don't use thin, cheap fabric. You want to use tightly woven cotton. So if your husband ever had to be in a wedding wearing some hideous shirt that you never liked anyway, this is the perfect time to cut it up. Good quality, tightly woven cotton is perfect because you don't want, if you picture somebody in front of you letting out a big gross sneeze, what do you want between you and that man sneezing in your face? That's what you want.
Yeah.
And you're double layers. That's what you're doing. So if you think of it that way, you don't want some thin, cheap material, and you don't want polyester because you can't breathe through polyester. So you still have to be able to breathe, but you also want protection.
Yeah.
You want to be able to breathe. That makes sense. But you want it washable because these things you can wash. This isn't like a paper mask that you have to throw away every time. These things go in the washing machine. And so here's the finished one. This is mine, and it's been washed multiple times. The cord, the ties are cotton too. Everything's cotton, and this is all scrap material. And when you wash yours, I suggest that you get one of these little laundry bags. I think most people have something like this. Usually you put like your unmentionables in here so they don't get all snagged on your nice clothes. You throw it in there. That way the ties don't get all tangled and you have some nasty mess you have to untangle when they come out of the washer. That's my suggestion. Yeah.
So where do you get the fabric? It might be shirts, but look on the tag and say, go for it.
Yeah, you can tell by the feel of cottons. If it has some polyester in it, you're okay. I'm just saying not 100% polyester.
Yeah.
Cottons are like not a shiny finish. They have a nice feel to your clothes. No knits like that. Your polo shirt you're wearing is a knit. No knits. Cottons don't give. They don't really have a stretch to them. And it'll say on there, you could, since you can't go to the fabric stores, you can buy them on Etsy. A lot of times women you'll already have clothes. You can buy used fabric, used fabric that you already have. So if you look at your giveaway pile, if you've got a giveaway clothes that you're already tossing in the giveaway, use some of those. Just launder them real well and look and see what you've got. You might have something already in the giveaway pile. Cut them up and use that if you don't want to order something brand new. If you order brand new, I'd suggest going on Etsy and buy good quality cottons, and you can get them right away. They're on Etsy.
All right. Walk us through step 1.
Okay. Nice. What I did, this size works great. This is an old file folder, and I just cut up. It is 6 inches by 9 inch little square. And if you're going to make them enough for your family, it's worth cut out yourself a little pattern that you're going to lay on the fabric. And for one mask, you're cutting 2. So you're going to have 2 pieces of fabric cut out of this little square. Now for a little kid, I cut one down. I cut it way down. Okay, smaller. And I just kind of went by, you want me to show that picture? I'll show you my grandkids. And I just went by the size of my grandkids' face. So you're going to have to go by your kids, their size of their faces, what you think is going to work. But can you see that picture well enough on there? Does that show well enough to see?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and I would use for your kids fabric that they think is cute. And they're more likely to wear it. If you use something that looks boring or whatever, like if it's got butterflies on it or flowers or their favorite color, they won't be afraid to wear the mask, and I think they're more likely to wear it. So go by the size of their child's face. If you can get it from cheekbone to cheekbone, you'll allow room for the ties to go on their face. Because otherwise, this adult size one, oh my gosh, it'll be around the back of their kid's head. They won't be able to hear everything. This is more a grown-up size. If this is too big for you, for a woman, and you got a smaller face, just cut this down. There's no rules to this. You cut this down. This is going to fit Jim, this is going to fit Andy. So if you've got it for a woman's smaller face, I would cut this down by 1 inch on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no rules to this. This is just whatever works for you. I made this up. So I'm just going by what works. Okay.
Cool.
Then on the straps, again, I made this up. 16 inches for an adult works fine. The straps are on each corner of this when you're done. These are 16 inches, each one of these little straps. Mm-hmm. For a child, I made them about 14. For the baby, it was about 12. And again, once they're sewn on, just cut them off. If a length doesn't work, cut them shorter. No home ec teacher is going to grade this when you're done making it. It doesn't matter. No one's grading you. So if it doesn't work, cut it shorter. The strips, I just took the length of fabric that you've got. Like I would think for one of you can make quite a few just out of a yard of fabric. You'll get several, okay? Yeah. So I cut, to make these strips, I took like 2-inch piece, a 2-inch strip by 16 inches. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally.
So here's your piece, 2-inch piece, wide by 16 inches. Mm-hmm. It's a scrap material. This was a skirt. Used to be. I cut the slip out the inside and made it into masks.
Nice.
So you need 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's for the straps.
Is that folded? Is that what I'm seeing?
It will be.
Yeah.
Yes. These will be. Yes. And then you're going to have your 2 pieces. And I like making them different on the other side. So if I get tired of wearing red on one side, I want to wear purple the next day. But that's because that's just what I like. I get bored. So you can
also
make it the same color.
Depending on which gang is in the neighborhood, you could just flip it.
Got that right? You want to look, tough, or you want to look whatever. So, and okay, then here we go. To make the straps, just to make your job easier, the straps is the most boring part, I think. And so I like to make all 4 straps at one time. And I hate getting out my iron, but this is one job where it's worth getting out the stupid iron and just do it. You want to take your strip and you're going to fold the long sides and meet them in the middle. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Iron that and then fold it again. And iron that. And I know I hate doing this kind of stuff. Just do it.
Uh-huh.
And then you're going to stitch that piece down, single line or zigzag, whichever you want. And pin it first like this, and then stitch it so that it's all held together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
this is your final look. This is your final look. That's how it all holds together.
And so stitching... is that just in, out, like?
Yeah, you're running. And I suggest a zigzag. That way, if you didn't, it'll catch everything so you don't have any gaps in here, just in case you made a boo-boo in there. It'll catch it. That's just to hold this all together. It makes it stronger.
Yeah. Okay,
all the way down to the end, from one end to the other end, run it through the sewing machine all the way down into one end. This is a tie. This is one tie.
So if someone doesn't have a sewing machine,
you could do with a sewing needle, run it all the way through, small stitches from one end to the other. Yes.
Yeah.
You could totally hand.
And if someone wanted to get one, how much does it run out typically?
Get what? A sewing machine?
A sewing machine, yeah.
Just bring it to my house and let me make it. Don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks like we may have lost you. No, you're back. You're back. Yep.
Another alternative to not having to make ties is if you've got an old pair of jeans.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't have old jeans? I was like, cut the side seams and use the side seams. They make great ties. They're super strong, and they make great ties. And no matter how much you wash them, they will never come apart. They make wonderful ties, and even if they ravel, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's
great. They will work equally well. They're very, very strong, and you don't have to do any of that sewing. How's that?
Totally. That's great.
Okay. All right. Do that. You can do that instead. I pulled those out as an alternative. Okay. Let's go on to the mask part itself. Mm-hmm. This is the part that seems like it might be a little bit tricky, but truly it's not. The way the mask works is, let me get out the mask. I want you to see if you notice this here. The mask has pleats. Mm-hmm. And the reason it has pleats is so that it will expand over your nose. Okay? When you hold it closed, it goes like this. It closes. But when you put it over your face, it expands. So to make these pleats, it can seem complicated, but it doesn't have to be. The videos show you all this measuring. You don't need to measure. When you lay down this fabric on your ironing board, all you have to do is you lay the fabric down and you fold it over, and iron it. So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. You're going to fold it twice and iron. You're going to do this with both pieces.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to measure it. It doesn't matter what size. It doesn't matter where. Just make 2 folds so you have 2 pleats. Does that make sense?
That makes a ton of sense. Do the folds on both have to be
pieces? It doesn't matter where they are, even. They don't even have to line up. It doesn't matter. The whole point is so that this will just pop open when you put it over your face. You're not making, this isn't for an engineer, I mean, it just has to be so that they pop open. That's it.
Yeah.
So do it on both pieces. Okay. When you have both pieces, you lay them face to face, like I've done on this piece. Here's an example. Pleated and pleated. And then you run that end through the sewing machine, like I've done on this one. Run it through the sewing machine, both ends, simply to hold those pleats together. And I ironed it. Simply to hold them in place so you don't have to hold your hand on them all the time. That's all. And there they have the pleats are all ready to go.
Yeah.
They don't have to line up. They don't have to be an exact size. I mean, I've seen all these detail about measuring with a ruler. It's like you're not making a wedding dress. It's like nobody cares if they line up. Just put the pleats in there, okay? All right. When that is done, now you're ready to put in your little straps. See the seam that I held those little pleats together? Now you're ready to go. I put a pin at the bottom, so now you kind of have like a little sack. And I took my little straps. Now the straps come out of each corner. Remember the finished one, how the straps come out from each corner. Visualize what it's going to look like when you're done. So I attached right here on the inside of this is inside out. I attached a strap in here and pinned it. I'm attaching a strap on this corner and pinned it. And down here, I'm going to attach another strap to this corner, and I'm going to pin it. So inside this mask are all 4 straps. Inside of here are all 4 straps. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay, they're all inside of here because eventually what we're going to do is you're going to sew all the way around, leaving a little hole. We're going to turn this inside out, and there's your mask.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but you need all these. You have to attach all these straps, or it'll look dumb for one thing. But you need all these straps in here, so you're attaching. I'll do the last one. Here's my last strap. I'll make sure you can see. I'm sticking it on the corner. I'm going to pin it on the corner. I'm going to stuff that in there so they're all jammed down in there. And and the slow thing would be sewing all the way around. If you had to do it by hand, you can, but you're going to want to stitch this all the way around, preferably with a sewing machine, but I'll do it for you rather than you have to do it by hand. I'd feel really bad to hear somebody do one by hand. But
hey, I bet some people would want to do some by hand, some
maybe
sort of mindfulness exercise.
Sure. But remember now, just like if you were making a stuffed animal or anything else like that, your right sides are in the inside. Leave a hole. Wait, so
we can't quite see that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Leave a hole. Leave a gap. Stitch all the way around and leave a gap so that you can turn this inside out. You're going to turn all this inside out, and then what you're going to have is you'll turn inside out, and you'll have this. The straps will all be finished, raw edges on the inside, you're left with that little gap, and you close that, seal that closed, and you're done. You've got a mask.
Wow.
And the pleats then open up, and they go right over your nose.
Yes.
Okay?
Perfect.
And that's why it doesn't matter how exact those pleats are. Who cares? It doesn't matter if it's 1.5 inches, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they line up. No, it's over your nose, for heaven's sakes, on the inside. So don't, the fun part is just using the fabric, picking the fabric. Make sure you catch the corner where each one of those straps are, so they're very secure. Because you're going to be tying this to your head. So you want to make sure these are secure in the corner.
Yeah.
That really is it. That's it. Use old jeans for straps. You could use used fabric. You don't have to go buy new fabric. You can make this very, very inexpensively.
Yeah. That feels really doable. Prior to you explaining this, it felt really intimidating to make an attempt.
Well, there's more pictures on Facebook. I put pictures on my Facebook page. There are videos on YouTube. Just don't let all the diagrams and the measurements. I feel like they made it. I think those are more engineer types. I feel like you have to analyze everything, and that's what scares people, I think, away from. There's not a test at the end. You want it to just work.
Yeah.
This is just to keep you from sneezing on people. You're going to sneeze to this thing, and make a few for yourself. And if you feel like you want to do this for other people, I feel like the cool thing is you could make 3 layers if you wanted to. Like if you have somebody at home who is an elderly person, do 3 layers in the center. Or say a child with asthma, or you have somebody that you're really concerned about. Or maybe like if you have one of those little libraries, we've got one of the little library boxes down here, and people are putting masks in there to give away.
Wow, that's cool.
See, and what the cool thing is they don't know who did it, which that to me is the absolute best. If you can do this and give to your neighbors and they don't even know you did it, So maybe try, my daughter's doing some of these in Missouri, and she didn't even know how to sew. She's barely learning how to sew. And so she made a bunch of them, messed up some of them, and now she's making them for anybody at all in the neighborhood who needs them.
Wow.
So if you're afraid, don't be afraid of messing them up. Just try. And the more you do it, you'll get to where you're just turning them out with ease. Yeah. And don't hesitate to contact me.
Yeah.
Call me and I can show me on your phone what you're doing. And I've messed up enough to where I know now how to help you through it.
Totally.
Yeah. Happy to.
Well, that's great. Should I throw your email down there if someone was wanting some coaching? Yeah.
Cindy L. Carillo.
Yeah.
Email.com.
Perfect.
Happy to.
And the one other observation I'll make is I think that with wearing masks, there's been a loss of the human smile. And I think
it is weird.
Yeah. The choice of fabric, though, I think does communicate something.
I do too. The blue mask is scary anyway, because that's what a nurse comes in, they're going to do something bad to you. And so that already makes you intimidated. I saw a gal wearing sequins. Hers was covered in pink sequins. And I was at the post office. Well, right away you smile when you see it. So
absolutely.
It's less intimidating. You feel friendly saying nice fabrics. So yes, that's a good thought.
Well, Cindy, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. You have been a gift to many in the way that you've helped people learn how to do this and helped people with this. And I think God has really used you as an extension of his hand of protection. So we appreciate you a ton.
Sure. Anytime. Please contact me, guys, if you get frustrated.
All right. Thanks, Cindy. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right.